Step aside if I could, 'cause I live for your embrace.
In 1984, when Charley Pride turned 50, the country music world thought he had it all. A legendary voice, millions of records sold, a prestigious Grammy, and an age etched in history. On stage, he was a symbol of determination, a living testament that a black artist could conquer the ancient country music world. However, behind the bright lights, Charley Pride held a secret that surprised the music industry. Not an unreleased song, nor a hidden hideout, but a huge fortune to build quietly, from sources of income that few expected. While the public thought his entire fortune came from music alone, the truth was quite different. Charley Pride skillfully turned his fame into a sharp financial strategy, making him one of the richest and most powerful artists of his time. And when this truth was revealed, it sent shockwaves through the country music world. But the truth behind it was much darker. Charley Pride was born in 1934 in Sledge, Mississippi, into a poor family of 11 children. His father, a cotton farmer, and his mother, a hard-working woman, struggled to support the family in the harsh landscape of the American South. As a child, Charley often had to wake up at dawn to help his family in the cotton fields, his young hands rough from a very young age. While working, he often sang gospel tunes he heard in the local church. It was those songs that instilled in Charley a passion for music, even though at that time, no one believed that a poor black boy could dream of the big stage. However, his childhood was not only about music. Charley also had another desire: to become a professional baseball player. That passion for the sport took him into amateur leagues and even a short time in the Negro League. However, racial barriers and limited opportunities soon caused that dream to fade away. The difficult days created a tough person who always knew how to manage. And it was that ability to manage to survive that later turned Charley Pride into not only a singer, but also a shrewd financial strategist, a secret that few in the entertainment industry know. After his baseball dream ended, Charley Pride turned to music, a second passion that had been with him since his youth. The early years were not easy. He sang in small bars, at fairs, and even in shabby rooms with audiences of only a few dozen people. But his warm, soulful, and distinctive voice gradually attracted attention. The turning point came in 1966, when Charley signed a contract with RCA Records. The song "Just Between You and Me" quickly became a hit, opening a series of consecutive successes. In just a few years, Charley Pride became a household name to millions of American audiences, challenging the stereotype that country music was a white-only land. In the 1970s, he reached the peak of his career. Hits like "Kiss an Angel Good Morning" not only put Charley Pride on the charts, but also earned him major awards, including a Grammy and the title of Entertainer of the Year from the Country Music Association. The money and fame began to pour in. But unlike many artists who only knew how to enjoy the luxury, Charley Pride chose to quietly build a financial strategy. While the audience only saw the aura of the stage, he began to invest in real estate, in business, and even projects that few in the music industry had thought of at the time. That was the foundation for the secret fortune that the world would be amazed by when he turned 50. Behind the music spotlight, Charley Pride entered a new game, one without the guitar, but with numbers, contracts, and unpredictable risks. In the 1970s and 1980s, when many other country artists were spending lavishly on mansions, supercars, and lavish lifestyles, Pride chose to quietly buy land, invest in real estate, and invest in local companies. Just a few successful deals doubled, tripled his assets. From a singer, he became a smart investor, and his assets quickly exceeded what he earned from music. That was his secret fortune, an asset that most of his peers did not know about. However, not everything was smooth sailing. With a secretive personality, Charley Pride did not publicize his financial details. This gave rise to speculation. Some believed that he was backed by powerful figures in the industry. Others suspected that the money came from shady deals. Some newspapers even questioned, had Pride sacrificed part of his image as a true artist to become a financial tycoon in the dark? These doubts and whispers were never publicly explained by Pride. He kept silent, leaving a dark corner in an otherwise brilliant career. And it was this dark corner that created a tragedy. While people praised Charley Pride on stage, there were also people whispering that his success did not come only from music. In 1984, when Charley Pride turned 50, the country music world was stunned by revelations about the fortune he had quietly built. Not only did he own millions of dollars in music copyrights, but he also owned real estate, farms, and strategic investments. At a time when most artists depended on touring and recording contracts to survive, Charley Pride had risen above them, becoming one of the richest and most powerful artists in the industry. The news spread and immediately sparked controversy. To some, Charley was an admirable role model, a man who had risen from poverty, taking advantage of opportunities to provide for his family and future. But to others, his wealth raised questions. How could a black singer in the harsh country world have made it this far? Were there secret deals or forces behind him? The biggest tragedy was not the money, but the suspicion and distance. Charley Pride, who broke the barriers to acceptance on stage, is now being questioned for his success outside of music. In the eyes of many, music is no longer his sole legacy, but part of a complex financial picture whose truth has never been fully revealed. It is a tragic moment for a legend, when people no longer talk about his voice and his immortal hits, but also about his hidden assets. And that is what makes Charley Pride's 50th birthday a shocking milestone in country music history.
Charley Pride passed away in 2020, leaving behind not only a treasure trove of immortal music, but also questions that have never been fully answered. He remains the voice that changed the face of country music, bringing black artists onto a stage that was once closed. But his legacy lies not only in his songs, but also in secret fortune, the controversial fortune he worked so hard to build. Fans will always remember him as an icon. For them, what matters is not how much real estate he has, or how many millions of dollars in the bank, but the music that comforts, inspires, and connects hearts. But for those who are skeptical, Charley Pride's secret fortune remains a mystery that has never been explained. Perhaps that is also the paradox of a legend, praised for his music but covered by the shadow of wealth beyond understanding. And perhaps the most important question is not how much he made, but what he actually gave up to have it all. After all, Charley Pride was more than just a star. He was a man, both great and complex, and filled with secrets that no one could ever fully understand.